Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We'll arriving at our destination shortly.
Yep, I believe it. I believe it's from Earth. Absolutely. Welcome back to the latest episode all about aviation show. My name is Greg, your trusted internet pilot for this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning, or whenever you're watching this here video. Let me get this pulled up here. So everybody knows about 3i Atlas lately. If you don't know about it, it's this interstellar object. It's the third interstellar object found by the Atlas telescope down in Chile, and wrong thing. And it's a bit of a cover-up on NASA's part in some ways. You know, they've covered up part of the capability of seeing this very unique object clearly. You know, when it was passing through Mars on its way towards the sun, since it's on our elliptical plane, NASA had a very clear shot of being able to actually like watch, you know, this thing and gather some important data, because you know there's certain alloys in it right now, especially like with nickel, that you like no interstellar object has ever had that before. And the only way to get nickel, from what I've been told and what I've been reading, is usually through a comet. Now we have a lot of nickel on Earth from, you know, meteor impacts and comet impacts over the billions of years that Earth has been around. But the fact that this thing seems like it's got its own trajectory, it seems like it can power itself. You know, it's not you know, when it's not being dissuaded by solar storms and anything that could alter its course. It seems to be on a very deliberate path. And you know, we have billions of years on this Earth, right? Billions of years, right? There's a very good chance that, you know, let's say the Earth is 5 billion years old. Well, maybe 1 billion years ago there was a civilization on Earth that was way more advanced and high-tech than us. Now, I am willing to stake everything I have, which is not a lot, but willing to stake everything that I have that you know, a billion years ago, what was available, you know, like as far as buildings and technology, that stuff's not going to be around nowadays. There's no way anything from a billion years ago would still be available to see. Hang on a second. Let me make sure the throttle is okay here. I have my keyboard now sitting on top of the whole unit here, so, and let me make sure I can do these again. Okay, that's that. Be able to go right, center, left, center, and outside, back inside. Okay. All right. So, you know, there's been civilizations that that have, you know, from thousands of years ago, they found cities, you know, a couple of miles under Earth, like out in the I think it's in the Peruvian jungles, or the Amazon jungles. I forget what jungles, but they outfitted these airplanes with like these kind of sonic, I won't say sonic, but some sort of device that could read into the ground of the Earth and pick up like 3D images of what's like below the ground. And they actually found like a whole like city in these jungle, like underneath these jungles, where you could see like waterways and you could columns, and like it was wild. Like I don't know if it's true, you know, and I'd have to go look for the story, but that actually, you know, that is something that happened, you know. But like if you look at all these, I think there's been 5 civilization ending events, you know what I mean? Like if there was a civilization a billion years ago that sent this out, maybe they sent this out into the stars as a a time what are those boxes you keep under in like for 30 years, like a time safe or a keeper of thoughts and ideas. I forget what it's called, but like, you know, some people like bury a box, like a time capsule. This could be a time capsule from 1 billion years ago. Now, in that billion years, maybe there was a civilization ending event, you know, where a meteor impacted that part of the earth and wiped out everything that we see, you know, between the different floods that have happened, volcano eruptions that have happened over billions of years. There's a very good chance that any trace of this kind of civilization is gone, outside of maybe, you know, who like the Egyptians used to you know, call gods and things like that. Like, you know, if you look at you know, a lot of these civilizations, hang on, as you take flight from Manzanar, pick back up on Route 395, head north. So we're pretty much just heading on a 300-ish heading the whole time till the very end, and then we got to find this little strip right here next to. Okay, and this is supposed to be about 140 miles. So let me get my chronometer set up here. All right, it's about, he said about 50 minutes. So we're going on a 314-ish heading. Let's get in the air and then we'll talk. I think the lights are on. Lift it up. Nope. It should be right here. Let's put that on. And strobe light. There we go. Now we got our little light on. All right, let's roll. Full power. Airspeed's alive. Knots. 80 knots. E1. Anyways, yeah, I fully believe that either this is alien technology that's out there. Now, alien could mean a lot of things. You know, alien to us. E13. We gotta just continue. Oh, chronometer. All right, I got that set. So we got about 50 minutes in heading this direction. Yeah, I really do think that it's either from a past civilization that we have no idea about, which is possible. It's very possible that we don't know everything. I know humans have this hubris that we know everything. There's a very good chance that we don't know everything. And that there could have been a civilization years ago that we have no sign of now because of all these different Earth events that have happened over time. And these cataclysmic events that have happened over time. Take highway and it'll lead you to another small town, Independence. Using the road as your guide, head north, find telltale lava flows and cinder cones of Big Pine Valley, volcanic field, west. So, alright, so there's the road. We'll just follow the road. Yeah, I really do think that this object is not a comet. I don't think it's a meteor. I think it's something that was made by another civilization. You know, the fact that it's coming in on a completely different plane than any other known object. You know, it's not, you know, usually they come in at a very odd angle from our elliptical plane. This one came in on the same plane as us. Trying to, like, almost like it's trying to just kind of mirror a planet, you know, trying to be stealth about it. Maybe that's how you can do stealth in space, kind of come in on the same axis as a you know, big body like a planet. But yeah, between, like I said, between volcanoes erupting, meteors and comets hitting, and who knows, maybe they had weapons worse than nuclear weapons back then, and they had an incident, you know, where AI took over or something like that and completely obliterated itself. Who knows? But you look at these different civilizations from time past, you know, between, you know, out in Peru and the Andes and Mesopotamian, Babylonian and Persian and all these, you know, a lot of the gods that they bow to and idols, they look very similar, which, you know, and now if you're, you know, thousands of miles apart from each other, that should not happen unless you have a way of either sharing technology, which they maybe had a way to share technology back then. I doubt it. I think we know a good amount about that time period. I'm thinking about, like, what happened a billion years ago. We have no idea what happened a billion years ago. There's no way any of that is left on Earth. All right, we should be coming up on Town of Independence coming up here. I got about 3 minutes here, so. And using the road as your guide, continue notifying telltale lava flows and cinder cones of big. I'm thinking about doing another bush trip as well. The one through one of the ones through the Alps that I really like the one I was talking about with the, like, where you have to land like on the hillside. I really think that's the French Polynesian one. Maybe this is the town coming up here. Yeah, we just got to keep heading north. Here's civilization over here. Maybe there's... This could be the little town of Independence right here. Yeah, this has to be a town over here. Alright, so there's Independence. So from Independence, we're supposed to head on a 343. And a bit further on situated, so we have about 10 minutes. I'm at 5 minutes now. The road is your guide. Continue notifying telltale lava flows and cinder cones of the Big Pine volcanic field to the west. And a bit further on, situated east of the highway, the Maha Reservoir. Alright, very good. Well, let's continue. Yeah, very good chance that 3i Atlas is man-made. I would love a debate if somebody wanted to, you know, dispute what I'm saying. Show me proof. Show me proof that we have proof that nothing existed a billion years ago. You can't. You can look into the Earth. You can look into, I mean, you can look into the different layers of the Earth. But, I mean, the Earth is, you know, there's miles and miles and miles of dirt. I mean, we're just now finding oceans under the crust and caverns and things like that. There is so much of the Earth that we have no idea about. Stuff on the bottom of the ocean floor, you know, a lot of the, you know, that bottom of the ocean floor might not have been the bottom of the ocean floor a billion years ago. That could have been land. You know what I mean? It could have been, you know, huge, like when they had those, when the ice sheets melted, you know, thousands of years ago, which I don't know if that was the Young Dryas thing that happened or not. But I remember one of these guys talking about the ice sheets melting and the volume of water that released from those ice shelves would have obliterated anything. So yeah, I think anything that existed a billion years ago is gone, or 3 billion years ago. Who knows? Maybe they sent this thing to the end of, you know, time and back. Oh, there's the lava what they're talking about, I think. I really want to do that Unalaska one. I might do that one again. Thought about downloading it. I don't want to tie up, you know, hundreds of gigabytes of data on this computer. You know, I like the fact that I still have like almost a whole gigabyte. I'm sorry, that I have almost a whole terabyte of memory on this thing. I've really done a good job trying not to like junk this thing up. The only time I ever use this computer is to play games, really. Alright, so it's only been about 2.5 minutes, so we still have time. Maybe we should climb a little bit and see what it looks like from higher up. Let's see here. Let's get up to like 6,000 feet. Let's start trim a little bit. Up our climb. We're just using our trim to climb right now. If you don't like our V speed, just trim down a little bit. Yeah, see, we can see the volcanic stuff a little bit better now. Could continue our pursuit of becoming a legendary internet pilot. We can go ahead and maybe resume some of those classes that we've been doing. Those are fun. Yeah, that 3-eye atlas is very interesting. You know, with all the negative stuff going on around the world right now, you know, all the different military events that are happening all across the world, you know, between what's going on down in Venezuela and the Ukraine and what's still going on in the Gaza Strip. You know, it's nice to think about something other than war. Oh yeah, see, we can see, yep. It's cool. Yeah, let's go up to, we'll go up to about 6,500 feet. There's a reservoir coming up. Once we get to the reservoir, short distance northwest, you'll pass the craggy rise of Crater Mountain as you make your way towards Big Pine proper, a town that still bears the geological scars of a massive 1872 earthquake. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about earthquakes too. Like, right, we've had earthquakes that have swallowed up, you know, all kinds of shit. Yeah, I really do think that this 3-eye atlas thing is from time long ago where they were way smarter than us. It might not even been human beings back then. Could have been aliens. No? Could have been like people that looked like fish that walked around. Who knows? Fun to think about that kind of stuff. For me, that kind of stuff is fun to think about. That sci-fi kind of stuff. All right, let's pull back our throttle a bit. Raise our trim a bit. Guess we can turn our light off. We have our volcanic. There's our reservoir. Stop climbing down a little bit. Yep. Very much a man-made object, I believe. I really do. I'm just going to keep repeating myself about it. I really think, you know, you know, I don't know how many billions of years the Earth is. Isn't it like 7 billion years old, the Earth? Okay, so what if 6 billion years ago there was a civilization on Earth that was way smarter than us, that built that 3i Atlas object as a time capsule of sorts? What if it's, you know, I mean, what if it's a type of drone? Because, I mean, this thing seems to be able to speed itself up, slow itself down. You know, it's doing like, you know, it's doing things that no comet or meteor has ever done. It's made of alloys that they've never found on meteors or comets, you know, that particular nickel alloy that's part of it. I really do think that this is from either Earth from billions of years ago, or it's really from a planet that we have no idea about. Whatever it is, it's not a natural object, I don't believe. And the fact that NASA knows something. First of all, they're a government agency, so of course they're shady as shit. Like anytime the government is behind something, it's never for the people, really. I don't believe. I always think, you know, the government is for themselves and for making money, keeping us in the dark, keeping the little people in the dark. They don't need to know. We'll let them know when they need to know. We're smarter than they are, and we're going to do the thinking for them, and we're only going to tell them when they need to know. Well, when this thing was passing through Mars on its way to the sun on the same elliptical plane as Earth, which is like impossible from what I understand, all of a sudden NASA just shut down. They had a glitch. The government shut down. I think it was partly the government shut down, and then there was also some sort of glitch, like where they just stopped filming. Let's just randomly stop filming. You know, as soon as we have the clearest picture of 3i Atlas. The other two interstellar objects came in at a much different angle. We knew what they were. This one, the shades of coloring that supposedly this one has between the blues and the greens, like that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, it's totally possible that there was a civilization on this Earth billions of years ago that was way smarter than us. And over the course of billions of years, all traces of it have vanished, which is highly possible. Between all the different world-ending events that have happened since the Earth has been made, all the different impacts of, you know, rocks and meteors and comets, volcanic explosions, earthquakes, ice sheets melting, and who knows? Like I said a little bit ago here, who knows that you know, let's say 6 billion years ago, that a civilization existed that had something far more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Or let's even say they had nuclear weapons back then, right? Or nuclear type weapons. What if they wiped each other out like we're getting ready to do in civilization here? Like we are getting ready to wipe ourselves out. You know, we are super close to full out, you know, nuclear war with Russia, Iran. You know, I mean, that shit is very close. It could happen with China really at any time. Yeah, and you know, so we wipe civilization out, right? Let's say we wipe ourselves out, right? Well, a billion years from now, nobody's gonna know that we existed. There's not gonna be a trace of us left. They're not gonna find, you know, somebody's iPhone. They're not gonna find, you know, somebody's house. They're not gonna find a skyscraper. That shit is gonna be gone. The Earth is gonna wipe itself clean. Mother Earth's gonna do what she does best, but just take care of herself. No matter how much we abuse Mother Earth, she always shows us that she's boss. Big boss applesauce. All right, let me see where we're at here. Hang on a second. All right, so we passed the reservoir. As you ride towards Big Proper, which is this town coming up here. And from there, we got to head on the 326, keep 395. It'll guide you past the glistening waters of Klondike Lake to the town of Bishop, California, aka Mule Capital of the World. Well, that is very interesting. and that's going to be on a 326, about 8 or 9 minutes. We're at 17 minutes now, so we are almost right on point with this town here. All right, well, let's keep on going. So once we get past this town here, we need about 9 minutes or so. I'm not sure what airspeed, indicated airspeed, you know, they have that time based on. Perfect crop circles and perfect alien landing spots. What if those are just like big glory holes? What if they're like there's big earthworms there and they just pop up through those holes like a glory hole? That'd be funny. That's the biggest goddamn glory hole I ever seen. Hey, this trip is kind of boring at first. You know, compared to some of the other bush trips that are out there. Still bears the geological scars of the earthquake. It does? Okay. Yes. I'm not sure where they're talking about, but maybe over here. Pretty young thing, repeat after me. And nah, nah, nah. Alright, keep following the highway. They'll guide you past Klondike Lake to the town of Bishop, aka Mule Capital of the world. That's about 8 or 9 minutes. Okay, we got the pedometer going. That was a fun flight last night. That was a fun flight flying that Dash 8 400. Those are fun airplanes to fly for real. Let's keep following the highway. I think this is the lake here on our right. You just have 4 or 5 minutes really to the next point, and we're already at, you know, a minute here. So yeah, that's probably our lake here, and then the town is probably right up here, I would think. Okay, as it passes through Bishop, Highway 395 splits off towards the west. You want to keep your heading, pick up US Route 6. Route 6 will briefly bend east, only to then turn north again, aiming you at the town of Chalfont at the foot of the White Mountain Wilderness area. That is racist. I do not identify. Those mountains have privilege. Those mountains have white privilege. I damn that Loch Ness monster. Dude, I really need to get my pilot's license. I just needed to do it already. I would love to be able to get my pilot's license. You know, I did start like a GoFundMe like a year ago. I don't think anybody's ever donated to it. I did a GoFundMe for to get the payment so I could become a pilot. I wanted to be able to quit my job and just do pilot school full time and then start working for an airline. I don't care what kind of airplanes you have me flying at first. I could be flying little Saab 340s, you know, a CRJ 200, you know, an Embraer 135, 145, just Start me off on something. I could probably do it now. I know. If I had someone like next to me that could kind of teach me as I'm going, I think I'd be okay enough to fly. But I don't know I don't know a lot of the terms. That's the thing. Like I don't know I'm just not educated. I mean, I know how to fly. At least in the simulator, I know how to fly, but I don't know, I don't know what it takes to be a pilot, that's for sure. But I know I could be a good one. I know if I went to school and learned it, I would definitely be a good one. Hard, man, when you start coming up with that kind of money nowadays. 100 grand for pilot school. For some reason, I don't qualify for a student loan for it, which I don't know why I wouldn't, but I've actually tried a couple of times over the last couple of years trying to get my a loan so I could do pilot school. All right, it's been almost 4 minutes, so that I believe, like I said before, I believe that's the town coming up, and then we're probably going to be splitting off. We're going to be heading this way, and they said the highway's going to be going towards the west. Yeah, we're going to be heading almost due north. So once this highway breaks off to the west, then we're going to head pretty much due north. I stopped watching videos on 3i Atlas. The videos on YouTube, they're all just fucking clickbait. Like, they all say these outrageous things, like there's 9 visitors with 3i Atlas. 3i Atlas just stopped itself, and then you get into it, and then they don't talk about that at all. They just talk about everything we already know about 3i Atlas, and it's just the same, like, handful of people that I see making the same handful of type of videos, and I'm like, y'all are motherfucking grifters. I love it. I love it. Grift while you can. Grifting since been grifting. Truth of the matter is, there's probably a handful of people that really know what this thing is on Earth. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe somewhere it's some deep government secret that, this was an object from years ago and our government knows about. I doubt it, but that would make a pretty cool movie. I believe we're getting ready to have the split, and I believe that is the town, mule capital of the world, coming up here. Next leg of this trip is only like 20 or 30 minutes. This one's going to be kind of long. We're making our way though. We're fully flying visually. No nav needed. No nav. N. Niet. Ibis suka. Alright, yep, that's the mule capital coming up. I don't know if we're still in California or if we're in Nevada at this point. I think we're in Nevada. I don't know. We're in California. Shit. Or you were in Nevada at this point. We're about 7 minutes, so we're about pulling up on time. Let me stop. All right, as we pass Mule Capital, we're gonna head off to the north, and that's gonna be about 6 or 7 minutes. There's the airport over here. I think. Here's the mule capital of the earth. Dude, I've been playing like Supermarket Simulator like almost every night before I turn off everything and go to sleep. I've been playing that game for maybe like 20 minutes. Like I'll do like usually 2 days in game, 2 in-game days, and I have found out something big in that game that.
Let me start the chronometer real quick.
If you're playing Supermarket Simulator and you're having trouble making money, move the pricing of all your products, like make it like $1 or $2 more than market price, and then put them all on sale for like 20 or 30 cents under the market price. That way everything is on sale. Man, you will sell out of almost everything like in a half a day. Like there's been times like I wasn't at the rank at the time to have a cashier, and I didn't have the extra money at that point to buy like a. Well, no, actually I did. I used some of the money I paid off the loan, and then I got one of those automated like self-checkout machines. And even with that, I have to close the store sometimes. Like midway through the day, I need to close the store for like 2 or 3 actual minutes, so I can reorder everything because like it's so busy in my store. It's so busy in my store that I don't have time to restock and buy stuff. I don't have the tablet yet where I can order everything on the fly like that. Yeah, that's a pretty fun game. It still has not gotten old yet, ringing people up. I don't know. I just like collecting money and hearing the ring, you know, afterwards, the little cha-ching letting you know that the sale has been completed. All right, as it passes through Bishop Highway, 395 splits off towards the west, which is what we're doing. Want to keep heading, picking up Highway 6, which I believe is under us. It'll briefly bend east. And then north again, aiming you at the town of Chalfont, the foot of the White Mountain Wilderness area. We've been flying for about 2 minutes since we passed Bishop. So that should be coming up somewhere up here. Then once we pass Falls Creek Ranch Lake, we get to Benton. And Madame Airstrip, this little dirt, this might take a minute to find. The only thing that makes, I think, finding this airport somewhat easy is that you have mountains as a backdrop. So if you can find this mountain range, and then whatever this is, I don't know if this is a river or a road. I think this is a river. We can find this river where it dead ends into the mountain. You just gotta look for this little strip. I think we're gonna be coming in like this way. Like, I think this is north up here. And it could very well be this mountain range all the way up here. I mean, that could be it. Pretty young thing after me. I think Phoenix came out with a new update. Maybe we'll fly a Phoenix flight later today. If I'm up to it. Alright, let's break off and head over here, because I believe you need to be quite a bit closer to this mountain range on the towards the east over here. I just wish we had a faster plane for this trip. Not a fast like a like the Hornet or an F-14, but like something a bit quicker than this plane. Let's see here. We're at about 5 minutes. This could be the valley here. This looks like a little town here. This could be the foothills of the White Mountain Wilderness area. Oh yeah, I see now. So we're going to be, so this mountain range right here, that's right here. And then this is going to be, that's our next airport. And here's the mountain that it backs up into. Yeah, so like I said, we're going to be coming up, and then that's the back of the mountains right there. So it's going to be in between those mountains. Okay, very good. That shouldn't be too hard to find. And if we can't really find it, like I said, we'll just, because here's mountain, you can kind of see the outline of the mountains here. We'll just go ahead and just land, and then we'll just drive on the ground until we get to the airport. Like, I have definitely done that quite a few times in this game. All right, so here's the town of Chalfont. Start. And then we need about 7 minutes. Time's clicking. Head back on a more northwesterly kind of heading. Past Chalfont tracks the farmland, waits along an isolated oblong body of water to the east. Like I think I said it a few minutes ago, I think up here is where the airport's going to be. I believe this is the mountain range. I believe this mountain range right here is... Here's that oblong body of water they just talked about. I believe this right here is this right here. Very well could be. Here's all the mountain peaks. I mean, this is not a very hard bush trip. You know, like I said, the hardest thing about this bush trip is really most of the time finding the runway. This bush trip, the landings are pretty easy. Even though, you know, we're landing on an airplane, you know, with like the it tilts up at the end. You just have to, just like in the Cub Crafter planes, when you land, don't slam on your brakes. When you land, just let the airplane slow down naturally. Pull back on the yoke, like pull back all the way. So you're trying to like, almost like you're taking off, and then start pushing the brakes. And if the nose starts to go down, release the brakes and still keep pulling backwards. That'll keep the airplane from flipping over. I have plenty of practice with. I've flipped quite a few of these type of airplanes trying to stop the airplane. Yes, I have. I haven't done it in a while, but it's something that used to happen all the time. No push. I don't know. I think our shadow would be quite a bit bigger than that. It's a very small shadow for how how high we are over the ground. But maybe that's accurate. Who knows? What do I know? I'm just a stupid fat American. Rather be flying zeros and ones than watching football on a Sunday. I was very big into football for a long time. I did a lot of fantasy football. Used to do pretty well actually on DraftKings and FanDuel. I mean, I wouldn't really lose money doing it. There was quite a few times where I actually came very close to winning some of the jackpots. Actually, I was one time I think I was one catch from winning one of the Monday night games. Which would have, I think I would have won like $250,000 or some stupid amount of money. I've won thousands of dollars doing it, but I've never hit the jackpot before. But once COVID hit, I'm sorry, not COVID. Once once George Floyd happened, and they started taking knees for the anthem and wearing George Floyd's name on all their gear. That kind of did it for me at that point. I was really done with Major League Baseball and football. First of all, you should never kneel for the national anthem or whatever they were doing. They were taking a knee. You should never take a knee for the national anthem. You wouldn't be who you are if you lived in another country. If you lived in Iran, you wouldn't be a $1 million platinum dipped, athlete with girls on the tip, and all kinds of money and jewelry and all that. No way. So God bless America, first of all. Second of all, I understand what happened to George Floyd is bad. He should not have died. Whether the officer was really guilty or not, of killing him, or if he was doing what he was trained to do, that's a different story. George Floyd was a fucking career criminal that was high on fentanyl when he died, and you're slapping his name all over everything for kids to see. That is very hypocritical. And I just lost complete respect for those organizations. It started years ago with Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem, and then once George Floyd hit, I was like, nah, I've had enough. I'm good. All right, outside of all right, I don't think I need. Well, I'll still use the timer, I guess. It does kind of come in handy as reference. I think this could be that little body of water here. After that, we're going to be heading pretty much the same direction. Heading up the road as rolling hills rise to the west. Yep, that's the body of water there. We can stop the clock. Start it again at about 5 minutes. And then we need to head on a northeast heading till we get to a little strip of dirt here somewhere. Carry on up the road as rolling hills rise to the west. Yep. And the town of Benton comes into view ahead. You'll know you arrive when you reach the main crossroads to see the town's scattered collection of trees amidst the desert, which this could be trees up here. Outside of Benton, Route 6 bends northeast, pointing you directly toward the desert peak of Mount Montgomery and the borderline between California and Nevada. There you go. Once you've crossed over into Nevada, I guess, look for the remains of an old ranch on the west side of the road. Locals call the dirt runway besides it Madame Airport, and it's the next stop on your tour, the High Sierra. Very good. All right, let's put our landing light on, I guess. Yeah, we'll wait till we make our turn. We'll wait till we get up to this next area here. I'm wondering if going higher right now would actually help see the runway a bit better. Let's climb like 1,000 feet. Where are we at? 60. Okay, let's get up to like 7,500 feet. I'd rather circle a little bit and land than like not really know where it's at. This trip does get more, I think, interesting as time goes on. I think like the scenery and everything. Because yeah, it is kind of bland just to look at like the same colors. Very monotone, this trip. That Alaska one. And the one for Hawaii is really good too. The one for Hawaii I like a lot because the Cessna they give you, there's no navigation. That one doesn't have navigation either, I don't think. If there's no autopilot and no nav, you could do the one for Hawaii. That one is really cool. When you're flying from island to island, yeah, that one's pretty dope. That one for Hawaii is pretty cool. The one for Vancouver Island is really good as well. That one, I think you're in the JBL something or something. That's a really cool one too. There's no autopilot for that one either, no navigation. Yeah, that Vancouver Island one is beautiful. I never realized how beautiful that part of Canada is, but and there are really some parts of the earth that are just, I would love to go out and see it, like get in a real airplane and see it. Maybe I'll be able to do that before I get too old and senile to know what's going on. Alright, as you come up to Benton, for about 3.5 minutes. Once we make this turn, we need about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we should see our little strip here. So once we get to the crossroads, reset it for about 4 or 5 minutes and head 15 degrees. We're a little higher than I initially wanted to go, but I like being able to see the ground. Alright, so here's the town of Benton, I guess, or whatever town this is. Alright, we got our chronometer set again. Let's head on a 15 heading. Go around this bend here. Find our next landing place. Put our landing light on. Yeah, I think this little river or whatever this is on our left, right down here, I think the airstrip is going to be on the opposite side of that coming up somewhere here, I think. That's my best guess right now. 'Cause there's a lot of little lines of dirt down here. We're supposed to figure out which one of them is our line of dirt. Okay. Let's get closer to this river or creek or road or whatever the hell this line is down here. Like I said, I believe the airport is somewhere nestled in these hills over here. I don't know if there's going to be a searchlight, not a searchlight, but you know, like a tower or some sort of light to let us know, like an airfield light. Could be showing itself. That could be it right here, actually. Could be it. We're at about 4 minutes right now. Go investigate that. Let me turn off the chronometer. Oh, wrong buttons. Shit. Never really used the chronometer before on here, the chronometer. You know what? I think that's it. We're going to go for landing right now. I think that is it. Dylan coming in for fine. Still not slow enough to put down our laps yet. Yeah, that's got to be the runway. Laps 1. Laps 2. Get my foot on the rudders just in case. My son, I'm going to mute myself for a minute. Sorry about that. It's my son calling. Meet for dinner. Spend some nights over at my mom's house so she can help him with school during the day, and he also volunteers at the animal shelter. We might have to turn around and if it doesn't pass us, we're gonna have to turn around. Oh no, it did pass us. Wait, all right, let's do the next leg. Actually, let's actually go out to main menu and restart at the beginning of the runway. I just text my daughter and tell her that I'm gonna. I'm gonna mute myself for just 1 second. All right. Now let's do activities again. And let's pick up from where we left off. Pretty short trip. Now that we're in Nevada. Finally in Nevada. Oh good, this one's got turns. Let's put on our lights. Alright, so in your air again, head northeast along Nevada's Route 6. Forward and through Montgomery Pass, continue along the desolate mountain road a few miles until you reach a junction with Nevada State Route 630 at the former town of Basalt. Alright, so we're going to be going about 5 minutes on a heading of northeast. We are at about 30 some degrees now, so we're just going to continue to head that way. Alright, let's go. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. Knots. And V1. Picked. Got the chronometer set. Down right. All right, let's head through the mountains here. Maybe we'll have time to do one of the VFR trainings or something like that. Oh, Google had it. Oh, man, Google it. My Google Voice stuff, like Hey Google and that kind of shit, never works. Now it's working. It never worked before. Now all of a sudden it's working. Maybe my phone did some sort of update and it's actually working. It's weird. Like usually during the day I'll have my iPad open. And every once in a while when I'm working, like Siri will just pop up out of nowhere. I'm like, Siri, I didn't say anything. I didn't even say anything close to your name. Alright, we can turn off our landing light, guys. We're going to continue on this heading just a little bit longer. About 5 minutes. Once we get up to Knopf Junction, oh no, Basalt Junction, where we're heading. We're going to keep on following Route 6 through these mountains here. So you reach a junction with Nevada State Route 60. So I don't know what 360 looks like, but it's probably going to be a pretty obvious looking road. Just our trim a little bit. Not climbing so fast. Also raise our speed a little bit. About 500 feet per minute is pretty good, and we can probably start leveling off a little. High enough at the moment. I like those bush trips. I think it's still the same one I'm talking about in the French Alps. A lot of times when you take off, you have to circle like the area just to get up high enough in order to be able to get to some of the peaks that you go to. You're in like a Cessna 172, and you're getting up to like 12,000 feet, and you're taking off from like 6,000 feet, and you have to continually like adjust your mixture, adjust the power settings as you're like climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. I think I want to do one like that, even though that one's got navigation available, like autopilot and navigation. The landings are really difficult, and it takes a little bit of practice and knowledge to make those climbs at times. You need to climb up to 14,000 feet when you're taking off from 7,000 feet, and you can't just take off and go like a jet. You gotta sit there and just take your time and circle. All right, so we are about 4 minutes here. Let's look for State Route 360, and then we're gonna head pretty much almost due north at that point for about 12 minutes. I think we're going to be turning before we get to the mountains here. Makes sense to me. There's the route right there. Right now we need thermometer is reset. Start heading to the hills of Mineral County, Nevada after you pass the impressive Moho Mountain, probably right here. Watch for another upcoming junction where your path intersects Veterans Memorial Highway 95 near the dried up Rhodes Salt Marsh. And we have, wow, look at this runway. They don't make it easy, that's for sure. Follow Highway 95 for a relatively short distance, and you can see the small town of Mina on the horizon. Oh, Minas Morgul. Oh, we're going to Minas Morgul. That's awesome. I've only visited that in movies, in the books, and in the game. To the east stands an unassuming public use airport. Yeah, I would say. Very unassuming. You almost can't see it at all. We'll fly over these mountains here. This is probably that Moho that they're talking about here, Moho Mountain. Yeah, I mean, once you get it trimmed, you can pretty much just kind of fly like hands-free. Yeah, anybody that wants to refute or add to the conversation on that 3i Atlas, Let me know. I really do believe that it's something that came from Earth, probably from billions of years ago. Maybe not that long. Maybe it's hundreds of thousands of years. It's probably billions or millions of years. I stand firm that there is no way that there's any trace left of any civilization that lived on Earth from billions of years ago. There's no chance of there being any trace. The Earth has consumed it. Space debris, comets, meteors have, shaken up the Earth over time. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, floods, ice ages, heat waves. There's no chance of any of that stuff still being left from a billion years ago. I don't believe it. So yeah, there's a very good chance that this thing's a time capsule. Or it could be from a different dimension. There's been a lot of talks about, dimensional shifts and paradigms and doorways and, so it could be from a different dimension and somehow it maybe there is some sort of wormhole like in the movie Interstellar, where objects can pass through from one, or maybe it's like Event Horizon where they can just fold space and like you just almost like a piece of paper going through almost like a pencil going through a folded piece of paper, like they showed in Event Horizon. Very possible it could be something like that. Whatever it is, it's definitely not a comet, and it's definitely not a meteor. I don't believe that at all. Not with the way that not the way that the trajectory is, not the materials that it's made with. I don't believe it. We're gonna head on more northwest again. Been doing this for about 3.5 miles, so we still have about 7 miles or 7 minutes left, roughly. Young thing, repeat after me. 899. All right. See if there's any kind of backdrop on this picture here. The only backdrop I see is just this little kind of mountainous range here, which I think could be this hill up here. We got to look for like a desert kind of path almost, and then just a little strip right next to it. Next to it looks like could be a road or a river. After this, I'm going to look for that one bush strip and see what it's under and see if I can download it real quick. I really want to find that one. I've talked about a lot of them today. The Hawaii one and Vancouver one, which is really pretty. I really think it's the one in the Pyrenees Alps. I think that's the one I know there's one in the Alps that goes to like Innsbruck and all those kind of places, but like there's another one that's set more in France. That's the one. I don't know if it's Bordeaux, or whatever. It's. There's one that's in the French Alps. That's, I think, the most difficult bush trip I've experienced so far. Just the type of landings that some of these runways are going to have, where you're like landing on the side of a mountain, like a little grass strip on the side of a mountain. I think the prettiest bush trip, it could be the Hawaii one. That one is that one in Vancouver Island. California Dreamin' is really nice too. That's a really nice looking one where you're flying. I think you're flying the Cessna 208. Yeah, 208 because it's got like multiple windows. That's a nice little trip. That's pretty scenic. But yeah, I think the prettiest one is either Vancouver Island, which is I mean, anybody who lives on Vancouver Island, that's a blessing. That's such a pretty place to live, I think. Just based on pictures. I have no idea how it is in real life to live there, but based on pictures, it's pretty dope. We're about 7 minutes. So I think once we get up here, we're probably going to be heading off again more towards the northwest. And then we're probably going to see our airport somewhere up here. Kind of my guess. Just based on what I've read here so far. And the directions. Let's see what the VFR map shows. See, this VFR map, whenever you first bring it up, it kind of centers your aircraft. So wherever the center is kind of where your aircraft is. See, we're coming up here in between these mountain ranges here, which I believe are these right here. And we're heading up. And then our runway should be kind of over here, like I just said. I see here's a valley here that we're going to be going in, kind of right here. 3Q0. We're at about 8 minutes on the chronometer. I mean, man, the landings in this airplane, we've had some really good landings. The landing we just had with minus 55, that's dope as fuck. Why couldn't I have landed that Q8 last night like that, man? We got like -2 something. We got into twos a couple of times. But yeah, when you're landing that airplane flaps 15, you have to almost come in like barely flare at all. Like I think they said 3% like at the most is supposed to be your flare. I like to try landing that thing at flaps 35. I like to see the angle and the speed you really need to keep for that. I think I've only tried to land that thing flaps 35 a couple of times. Thankfully, they make it easy to practice. Because X-Plane, you know how X-Plane is. You just click where you want to start and boom, you're right there. Like, you don't need to worry about if it's going to work. You know it's going to work. It's not like Microsoft, where you have no idea what's going to happen. Alright, we're at about 9.5 minutes here. It's probably an accurate time because we've been going a bit faster than it was probably calculated. Let's head up here, and like I said, here's that dirt area, so we're probably right on the other side of that. I'm not sure which side yet. Let's see what it looks like. If it's closer to the mountainside or closer to the... Alright, so it's a lot of green. Next, so we have brownish and then a lot of green. So let's keep an eye for a lot of green. Hopefully we'll be able to spot it like we did the last one. The last one was really easy to spot. I wasn't expecting that last runway to be so easy to spot, but you got lucky. Let's get inside, put our landing light back on. Go outside, make sure it's on. Yep. Right down there. Chronometer, however you want to pronounce it. And I was really not looking forward to going out to dinner. I did not want to go out to dinner. Said no, and then my son called and I said, Said no to my mom, and then when my son called, I was so. I am very comfortable today, and I just do not really want to leave the house. Like I am comfortable, man. Like I know I'm gonna be out most of the day tomorrow. Just did not want to leave the house today. But sorry. Yeah, see that green outcropping there could be where we're heading. See all that green coming up on the left? It could be where we're going. After I get back tonight, as long as I'm feeling okay, I'll probably get back on and do some more flying. I don't usually fly this high at this part of the trip, but I'm flying high kind of on purpose right now. Just I want to see if I can spot the if that spot coming up on the left really is the spot that we're going to, and if it is, we'll just go around in a circle and do our entry into the proper leg so we can join traffic and land this airplane. I don't think this airport has any kind of tower or light or anything that's going to be... That would make it too easy. I don't know if it's me or not, but it does look like something flashing a little bit down here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just wishing it to be there. Really wanting to see some sort of light, so my mind is tricking me that there actually is some sort of light flashing. But yeah, I think that's going to be it, because if we look at the picture, there is a line diagonally going into it, and if we look here, we have a line from the dirt diagonally going into the green. So there's a very good chance that this is the runway coming up here. We're going to fly over it, check it out. If it is, we're going to spin around and go land on it. Pretty sure that's it, because here's the town, or what looks like it could be the town. Well, I wonder what it's like living out in this part of the world. Like, arid, dry, like living on Tatooine, but like, with internet. It is. Like living in the, it's like living on Tatooine, but we don't have land speeders. We have dirt bikes and ATVs. No hovercrafts. Not yet. I think Elon's getting ready to launch an announcement for some sort of flying car. At least that's what it sounded like when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast recently. On the Joe Rogan podcast. And they were talking about flying vehicle. Elon was hinting at like some sort of major announcement he has coming up. And it seems like it has to do with flying vehicles. So it's a very good possibility he's going to be announcing some sort of flying, not a drone, but something you can actually like get in and drive like a car. But maybe I don't know if it's a hover vehicle or if it's going to be actually like something that'll get you airborne, like in the air, like really in the air. That's going to be highly dangerous, I think, whenever that starts happening, because there's already enough problems with traffic for in the air right now with airplanes and air traffic controllers and things like that. And now you're going to have a segment of the airspace that vehicles are going to be going into. We're going to have to figure some way to balance that, because that's not going to be good if like not everybody, like you shouldn't just be able to buy a flying car and just start flying. Like you need to be aware of everything around you. There's got to be some sort of safety protocols to prevent crashes, especially near airports. Maybe only certain sections of like the highway You know, you could use above ground, but then when you're within a certain radius of an airport, you have to be on the ground or below like 500 feet or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to work that out yet. I mean, you really need to be 500 to 1,000 feet, I think, for most places. You know, to make sure you're over top of trees and buildings and things like that. I guess I should shave before I go out to... Yeah, see here... That's why I'm thinking, like... There's got to be, like, the airstrip somewhere over here. Oh, unless it's up here. Here, let me open up the VFR map and see how close we are to the center. That's not it. We didn't already pass it, did we? Look, man, we might have already passed it. Town of Mina on the horizon. Yeah, I think we might have passed it. Let's turn around real quick. Is that the VFR map is concerning to me? That the airport is that far below where we're supposedly at. Because, like I said, usually when, yeah, I think we passed it. Usually when that map pulls up, it centers your aircraft. And if the center of that map is that far below us at the airport, then yeah, I think we're going the wrong way here. Been around. Well, we're not going the wrong way, we just passed it. And use south again. So that VFR map kind of centers up with the airport near us. There's the town that's probably they're talking about. I don't think that's the airstrip there. That doesn't look like what we were looking at before. If only we had a VOR in this airplane and I could like plug in a frequency. Just kind of get a roundabout gauge on how far we are. Alright, let's close that out. Let's get to this town and then open that back up again. I think we're getting closer. Maybe that is the airstrip right there. That doesn't look like the picture though. Right? It doesn't look like it. That's not the airport we're supposed to be landing at. We'll be landing at 320. There's 3QO now right in the center. Maybe that is our runway. Maybe it just looks different now. Alright, well let's go spin around and we'll go land on it and see if that's it. It could be it because here is a line coming into it. This is probably it. I didn't think that was it at first when I saw it because it didn't look like the picture. The picture was really green and yeah, that's got to be it. Okay, I'm in for landing. Landing light still on. Let's go down to this little section here and then we'll spin around. Yep, that's it. Glad I learned that trick a while ago about the VFR map. If you're ever kind of stuck, click on this VFR map, and usually it puts your airplane right in the center of the map. So you can kind of have this backhoe and track function without being penalized for using. Start slowing down a little bit. Start putting our flaps down here in a moment. Down this town here, and then we're gonna make a U-turn. Kind of like having my keyboard on top of this thing. This thing doesn't really shake a lot, so I don't have to worry about the keyboard falling. It's actually doing pretty well up there. Usually when I like get everything together before I go on, I'll usually put it up here, do all my typing that I have to do, and then I'll put the keyboard like next to me, like on top of a chair or something, kind of elevate it a little bit. But it's kind of nice having it up here. Come on, slow down, airplane. Let's go flaps 1. Now that we're in the white band. Flaps full. Use. Trim a little bit. I'd be very surprised if this is not the runway. Recenter my camera. On my rudder. Base. Pull the throttle. Wow, that was a hard landing for this airplane. Usually I'm at like under 100. I'll take it though. All right, pull back on the yoke all the way, hit the brakes. Excellent. I got a few minutes to go back and look for this strip here. Turn off the sound of the game. That's kind of... Oh, come on, stop being a... You know, when you hit like alternate tab, try to go back to a screen, but Whenever Microsoft is loading, you usually can't go back to that screen. Like it just stops you from interacting with it until it's ready. Let's wait until it's ready. Come on, we're just going back to the main menu, Microsoft. We're not like they're trying to rebuild the wheel here. I mean, X-Plane, we would have been in the next airplane already. There you go. See, all you gotta do is just talk about X-Plane and the game gets upset. All right, let me look at uninstalled Bush. I can spell Bush right. Okay. Italy and Malta. Zealand, Brazil, Caribbean. I think this is it. Pyrenees, Bordeaux, to Mont Blanc. I think this is it. Which one is this? World Update 4? All right, let's install this. Maybe we'll try that later tonight. I really believe this is the one I'm talking about. Oh, this thing is downloading pretty fucking quick. All right, let's go look at Bush again. The other one, I believe the other one is in here. Is this one here? Yeah, see, Austrian, Tyrol, High Mountains, Vienna, the Sugarland, Joling, La Côte, Grand Alpine. Could be this one too. I might have to go back and look at my old footage and see if I can find it. I'll be able to tell here in a minute once this downloads if the one I have is correct. I just need to go look at the actual Bush trip again. All right, while that's doing that, let's look at some Atlas. Yeah, see, it's saying they're calling it a comet, but it's really not a comet. Avi Loeb, yeah. I don't know if I really trust him or not. Yeah, I think it's, like I said, I think it's something from billions of years ago that is just now making its way back into our area. Yeah, mystery acceleration, strange behavior. Like, yeah, it's man-made. Gotta be man-made or alien-made. It's definitely not. It's not. I don't believe it's something from an interstellar body that just like broke apart. Like, I don't think it's from a planet exploding or a supernova, or I think this is like a time capsule or some sort of interplanetary ship from years and years and years ago. I fully believe that. Like I said, we have no idea what happened on this planet a billion years ago. There's no way. All that shit is long gone, man. The Earth has swallowed it up. Gone. Gone forever. Just like a billion years from now, we won't be here. There'll be no traces of us left either, probably. Don't start slowing down now, bitch. Come on. Going fast the whole time. Let's go. Let's go, bitch. Yeah. Come on. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And follow. Have enough time to shave still, I think. I think I have enough time to take a shower. That sucks. Come on, bitch. Come on. Let's go. I just want to look at your bush. Hurry up. Let me see it. See your bush. We're almost there. I don't want to launch the bush trip right now. I just want to see if this is the one that I'm thinking of. It is. Decompress. Decompress. Come on, finish up, bitch. Come on, let's go. Come on, Microsoft. Should not take that long to download 5 gigabytes. That is nuts. I run 1 gigabyte a second. Like this literally should have, like, in a perfect world, like if this wasn't Microsoft, if this was a regular file to download, it would have downloaded in probably like 30 seconds. Are we done yet, Microsoft? I mean, can we interact with the screen, or like are we just now frozen, Microsoft? This is embarrassing, Microsoft. X-Plane does not have these issues. See? I told you, as soon as you start talking about X-Plane, we're good now. All right, let's see. Activities, push trips. All right, let's look at these runways here. Come on, Microsoft. Yeah. Yeah, see? Oh, yeah, this is one of the runways right here that I'm talking about. This right here. This little patch of grass right here. This took me so long to land on, because you come in from these mountains here and you come around and you have to kind of like get close to the mountains and then you come in and land. Yeah, this is one of the landings right here. Yep, that's that one. And we also have this one here. Should be another one where it's like a little grass strip. This is it. This one right here. I think it's right here. This is the one I've been talking about. Whenever I've said that we got to land like on the side of a mountain, I think this is it right here. We come in next to this road, because we come in from, I think, this area here. We come around this little mountain, and then this is like the runway right here. We have to land, and then it goes uphill. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, we're going to be doing this one later. So we're in the DA40NG. Let's jump in that airplane real quick and make sure we have our cameras set up. I think I already have them set up for the DA40, because I needed that for one of the trainings that I did. Let me just double check. Yeah, we're going to be doing this one. I don't really care what airport we go to right now. I just want to get in and just make sure the controls are okay. I also have to reset make sure the throttle is set for this last lever here, because with the keyboard sitting up here, I really can't operate the first throw lever. So I switched everything to this last one for now. Okay, let's make it daytime outside. Okay. Have that. Oh, okay. He have left, right. That button is center. And let's make sure our trim works. Up, down, that's good. All works. That works. Stuff. Flaps work. Okay, so we're all set. for this airplane then. Very good. And we can go outside using this button still. Very good. All right, so we're going to be starting this one tonight. Yeah, I don't recall the name of the airport that this one, and then there's another one I want to look into as well. One where I maybe it is the high T-roll, the high what's it called? T-roll high Alps. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some of my old videos, see what airplanes. Oh, you know what? They actually hang on. I think there's a way to actually look this up because I looked this up earlier. Yeah, here we go. And I'm gonna get ready and get out of here. Let me close this out real quick. Play capture. Here we go. Okay. This is the one we're getting ready to do. Not Sweden, not Germany. It could be this one. Berg. That was it. Austria, Portugal, Italy, no. Not Vancouver, not the Rocky. Maybe it is that one. Maybe this is the airplane. Where's the one from Hawaii? An Alaska one. Good one too. Where is the one for yeah, see, this doesn't have a full list. Yeah, this is not it. This doesn't have a full list. Because it doesn't have the Hawaiian one here either. Alright, I'll see what I can find out about it. Fuel over the aircraft is recorded behind successful aircraft. Refuel hotkey. I never knew there was a refuel hotkey. Not offloaded. Anyways, all right, I'm getting out of here. I got something to do here in a little bit, but we'll come back and do some shit tonight. Hopefully. I guess that's about it, my friends. I will see you on the next episode of the Airplane Show. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see y'all in a few hours. That's it, my friends. See ya.